All right, what is up? Today I want to cover two things: the Coinbase IPO and also the future of Tesla stock price and valuation directly linked to the Cybertruck. So, first off, let's talk about Coinbase. This is the first crypto exchange to go public on the market. So, if you're not as familiar, when you buy stocks, you have an exchange. Basically, it's like the crypto of Robinhood. Many of you have used it, and it's unique because it's kind of made crypto legitimate yesterday, and it's gotten a lot of people's radars that before wouldn't have touched crypto. So it's a very exciting thing in that way. Coinbase, I use it. It has really high fees, and through that, they generate a lot of their profits. So there's a lot of benefit with Coinbase right now. I like it that it's just bringing more attention to crypto, the crypto market, get more people in there investing. And it's a very speculative market right now. But what's incredible is the last 10 years, Bitcoin and Ethereum have been, as far as returns, have been some of the highest returning assets, or whatever you want to, however you want to classify them. Currently, they're classified as property and not securities, but it's a very interesting space. I have been getting into it a lot more recently, and I wanted to get some more exposure outside of my stocks. I'm really heavy in Tesla and a few other stocks that I believe in. But as far as crypto, I think there is so much going on with it still, and there's opportunity. So I'm putting a portion of my available funds over into the crypto market. And back to Coinbase. Coinbase, it, at the end of the day, their direct listing as an IPO, they, at the end of the day, they're valued close to $100 billion on the stock market, which is pretty incredible. And so it's redefining a lot of things and expectations. The question is, where will it go from here? I always think of Groupon, right? And Groupon was the fastest growing company ever at the time, and there was a lot of excitement. And by the time it got IPO'd, it opened, it shot up, it blew up, big, and then it pulled back hard. And this seems to be with every IPO. The banks and the private investors, they cash out with the IPO. Us retailers, we buy it, we cash them out, and then we get left holding the bag. And this works with companies that have a really good long-term prospect, but for companies that are just more, they're a good pump, and they just get to the IPO, and it seems like they stagnate afterwards. And those are the companies you want to avoid. The question I have with Coinbase and the excitement I do have is, yeah, it is doing really amazing profits, and it has a lot of future, I think, but there's competitors coming in. And the other thing is, it's all dependent on Bitcoin and Ethereum. But that market's growing. Who knows where that goes in the future? But I think Coinbase is an interesting play to follow. I tried buying in low. I wasn't going to get in, when people were talking about 400, because they were listing it at 250, but by the time it hit the exchanges, it was up in the 390s, and then it got up to 420, and a lot of people were buying in that, and it's since gone down to 370, I believe, last time I checked it, and that's going to hurt your immediate returns, right? And there's the things with the IPOs is sometimes it's really not advantageous to jump on the IPO unless you can do a quick swing trade. But for most people, you just wait for the IPO to come back down. Look at Palantir. It had a really high shot up when it was released, but it has come down since. And that's where I've started buying in on Palantir and other companies. IPOs, you have to be careful with those. Which comes back to stocks. And the big stock I am invested in, and I'm a hodler, is Tesla. So I believe in Tesla for a variety of reasons, and I just don't think any other car company has the will or the structure and the organization to compete with Tesla for a very long time. Now, the biggest thing that Tesla has going for it, which I don't think other people understand, is say another company was able to come out with okay, a Ford or Volkswagen. They come out with the exact same car as Tesla. They come out with their own Model Y, right? And everything's the same. It's the same pricing. They have the same software, everything. Well, the biggest strength that Tesla has at the end of the day is profit margin and costs. It's kind of like Apple. You have Samsung, you have other phone companies, and this analogy goes back to cell phone makers. Apple owns, I don't know, they're like 15-20% of the market share of phones, but they're like 90% of profits in cell phones. It's because people are willing to pay higher margins for them, but they also have such a powerful base of technology and integration that they're able to squeeze out a lot more margins. And I see that happening, the same thing happening with Tesla. And going forward, Tesla's going to have a strong moat because of their costs and their integration. They are vertically integrated. Tesla's able to innovate a lot quicker than any of the other companies, and they're willing to innovate. See, when you get a big company, Ford, GM, they struggle to innovate and cut out their sacred cows and to cut off things that are making them money or things that don't work because there's a lot of politics, a lot of things involved. But when you have a company with like Tesla, it was kind of like with Steve Jobs and Apple. You know, everybody wants to talk about Steve Jobs, but companies do, if you can get an amazing CEO that can run a multi-billion-dollar company and they kind of set the tone for everything, you can get amazing results. But once you don't have that, it's harder to get. When you just hire CEOs, they come in, they know their 10 years for 5 or 10 years maybe. And it's hard to really drive a company and innovate in that way because these CEOs are not innovators. They don't know how to do that. They know how to run companies and not to innovate and grow. So the really exciting thing I've been thinking about is Cybertruck. It is currently over 1 million pre-orders. Now, I have one of those pre-orders. My brother does. You put down $100, so it's not like fully committed pre-order. But I really want to buy mine, and I think a lot of the other people that have pre-orders are intending to actually buy the Cybertruck. So if of the million reservations, if there's 300, 400, 500,000 people that are actually going to go through with the reservations, the Cybertruck is going to be a phenomenon. And it just gets me so excited because this truck has so many innovative things about it, but the price is so amazing because they're using the stainless steel instead of the traditional bodies of a car, right? And this is where you get a vehicle that is just all about functionality, but it also looks crazy insane like you're on Mars. It just blows me away. You know, the first time I saw it, I was like, whoa, that's bad. But 10 minutes later, I was like, this is the most amazing machine. So the Cybertruck is going to come out, and they're going to it's not going to get truckers, people that love trucks. I love trucks. But it's going to convert a lot of other people and then eventually move in stronger into those truck markets. And that is where Ford, Toyota, these other companies make a lot of their money in the US, is through trucks. So I am very bullish about Tesla. The stock price is really high, but I think it's going to go higher. I'm in the trenches with this stock. I've held it when it's dropped. You know, I'm not an old-time hodler. I only got into it this last year, but with their energy division, the tunnels, everything and then the self-driving features, and the Model Y is kind of like a killer car. I see Tesla doing super well and just keep on growing from here. And it's one of the best long-term plays I have as a stock that I'm willing to hold on to. So those are just some of my thoughts today on Coinbase and Tesla. And I hope you're doing well and go out there and make lots of money.